Good morning. Welcome to Detroit Driver Blue. And just wanted to start out today doing a little recap of last Saturday's drive out in Ann Arbor. It was the Go Blue day. Michigan uh, did an awesome job. Of course, spanked Penn State 42-0. Um, anyway, just wanted to recap the night's events a little bit. And forgive me if this sounds a little bit rough around the edges. Only made a few videos, so out here trying to definitely support, promote, and to encourage local Detroit area YouTubers who are doing ride sharing, uh, and who knows, maybe try to help the ride share market to a certain degree. When they hear about a tip or something like that I pass along, it's just going to be me hearing something from somebody else or me observing something and then passing it along. Nothing amazing about that. But anyway, I can only talk about what I have and give what I have versus something I don't, which is, thousands of rides or whatever the case is. I am a professional driver of 22 years. Uh, Another line of work that had so much more going on besides driving, but driving was the heart of pretty much most of my activities during my career. Anyway, last Saturday, out doing the Ann Arbor downtown vicinity area rideshare driving for Uber. There was a pretty good take. I did pretty well. Did $142 total during the night. There was a little surge pricing going on at the end. And I wanted to call to everyone's attention my first situation where a passenger was definitely trying to sort of get over on the system, get a cheaper ride experience for his drunk friend that he wanted me to take home. He wanted me to shut the app off on completion of his ride and start the app off again. Basically, ask for another Uber driver. And I told him that this would be possible. However, due to the amount of people that were asking for an Uber car, they would probably be disadvantaged at that point because there would be way too many people in the queue that have already asked for rides, and I would have to deny and decline many different rides. So not only did I make a mistake and not really thoroughly think about this before I suggested he continue to cancel, or he continue to do this particular maneuver, because I'm thinking to myself, well, it's going to help him out. I'm not going to complain, but at the same time, it didn't help him out at all. It didn't help his friend out. His friend still intoxicated, which I didn't mind that his friend got out of my car, to be totally honest with you. But because I had to decline roughly 6 to 7 large, we're talking 2.3, 2.5 surge type rides, I think 2.9 was in there as well. Now I had plans going on just literally a half hour prior to all this. So, well, I mean, after my ride activity was over with this particular rider. So I did not plan to continue driving that night because I had to pick my fiance up and we had to leave the Ann Arbor area and go back home because she was working out there that afternoon or that evening rather. Anyway, long story short, don't want to turn this into too much of a long video here, but everything went very swimmingly with a lot of riders. It was parent weekend, so didn't have a lot of drunks up until the very last ride. Had a gentleman with his alumni buddy. He was in the back seat and looked like he was definitely a candidate that could have thrown up. Thank God he didn't. But so it ended up becoming a blessing in disguise when this guy realized that his attempt to work the system and try to not pay because he didn't want to end up paying 1.8 surge pricing, taking his buddy home. But what he ended up doing was disadvantaging himself and screwing his buddy over because at that point I could no longer take any of those guys anywhere because the ride was pretty much over with. My mistake was not really thoroughly thinking all the way through this, and of course still gaining a lot of experience with I have over 220 rides with Uber right now, so I basically am an inexperienced Uber driver and still gaining experiences and still learning of the app and still learning what passengers their best course of action is in circumstances where they have to extend their rides and things like that. Some of those basic things I'm very well aware of. Um, so some of those things are kind of they're easy to really clarify and come up with. But no question about it, you have to be aware of the fact that people are going to try to take advantage and find another way to maybe not deal with the surge or not, have to pay surge pricing. But once they have you as their driver, the advantage is they don't have to reping you. If they want someone else to be taken home, they want to have a new ride. I mean, it sounds like you would on a slow night you could do something like that, but truly in this situation, this was not advisable, and kind of feel like I'm at fault for it. But at the same time, I didn't quite think what would happen. Didn't really think of the results based on the high activity that night. I was assuming, I was assuming that there would be enough Uber drivers to cover all those rides that were being pinged out. And I didn't realize I was going to have to deny all those rides. Anyway, again, I was going offline, period. So that really wasn't that big of a deal. So with that, um, today is another day of driving today, and I got an appointment kind of like earlier in the afternoon. So I really am gonna be not able to be out hitting it all day long, but definitely today is one of those days where I got to get out there. Kind of sleepy, was kind of up late last night, but anyway, I get over it. I get driving, take care of business. Be safe, and don't let people take advantage of your operation. It is yours, especially being your car or the car that you're operating, not being Uber or owned by Lyft. So know that you are in control. Peace.